So here's a hopefully quick how-to on how to do linear regressions on your Texas Instrument calculators. Depending on the numbering, the keystrokes might be slightly different, but this will give you a general idea. So I'm going to use a set of data that I took some numbers off of a CDC site. So life expectancy for white women born in the U.S. So if you were born in these years, you have this life expectancy. So first off, we have to decide which is going to be X and which is going to be Y. So since I'm doing the video, I'm going to decide born in year is going to be my X variable, and life expectancy will be my Y variable. And then one more thing that we have to decide is, do we want to use these numbers, 1950, 1960, etc., or, obviously not, or I wouldn't have said, we're going to let X equal years since 1950. So sometimes you'll have that control, sometimes your textbook authors or instructors will have that control. If you don't mind working with the big numbers and you want to keep it like that, you can do that as well. All right, but here we go. First thing we need to do is get that data in our calculator. So everything's driven off of the Stat menu. So Stat, and then Edit. Across the top we have three options. We're just going to work with the top two. So first thing we're going to do is Edit. And now in L1, I'm going to put all of my X data. So that's these guys. So again, if X is year since 1950, when it is 1950, X is 0. So 0, and then you can use your down arrow or the Enter button to go to the next spot. So 1960 is 10, 1970 is 20 years, 30, 40 for 1990, and 2000 was 50 years after 1950. And now if I right arrow, it didn't do anything. So let me enter and then right arrow. There we go. Right arrow puts me into L2. That's where I'm going to put all of my Y data. You need to make sure that they're across from one another. These are ordered pairs, so it matters that for X equals 30, remember that's 1980, that has the Y value that goes across from it so that that ordered pair is in my calculator. I'm sure you guys are watching to make sure that I'm inputting numbers correctly and screaming at your computer if I didn't. You have to have the same number in each set or it doesn't like it. So my data is all input. So now we're going to go ahead and let this calculator do the linear regression for us. So back to Stat. Here's the Stat button, S-T-A-T. And now I want it to calculate. I want my calculator to do this work. It's not fun to do it by yourself. I have. It's not fun. And then option 4. So option 4, linear regression. Your calculator can do a whole bunch of regressions, but we're going to do linear. We want to find a line of best fit. So option 4, you can either arrow down to get to it, or you can just hit the number 4. Now, at this point, since I only have those two lists of numbers, L1 for my X, right? I put these guys 1, and my life expectancy is in L2. That is the default setting here. If you would have put yours in a different order, or maybe you used L3 or L4, you would type those in at this point. You can see there's a little L1 in blue or an L2 there, and L3. To get to the blue keys, you use the second button and then those. Put a comma in between. Right there's the comma if you wanted to change it, but from L1, L2. Mine are there, so I'm good to go. I'm going to hit Enter. And there's that equation I was looking for. So the line that best fits this data, Y equals 0.165x plus 72.45. So that's the linear regression. Got a couple of minutes, so let's go ahead and see what we can do with that. If we want, and I know there's a faster way, I don't know it, but I can plot that equation of a line. So y1 equals 0.165x plus 72.45. And then I'm also going to plot my data. So I'm going to go up here to plot 1. I'm going to arrow up. Plot 1, I'm going to hit Enter. Oh, that just turned it off. So now I'm going to have to go back into Stat Plot and make sure I have everything what I want. So Stat Plot's right above the Y equals screen. So Stat Plot, term plot 1 on. This first, you have 6 options here. We're going to do the first one, that's the scatter plot. X list, mine's L1. If yours is something different, type it now. My Y list is L2. Choose a mark, and then let's go ahead and graph. Remember, my line's already in there. Oh, I didn't check my window. Oh, my bad. Here we go, window. X's. X goes from 0 to 50. Let's take it all the way out to 60 because we want to check what happens this year. And Y, life expectancy. Well, we don't want to have negative, do we? So how about 0 to 100? Now let's look at it. Notice it's increasing. So the later you're born, the longer your expected life should last. So what if you were born in 2010? What is the life expectancy according to our equation? So what is the life expectancy if born this year? So if you're born in 2010, X is 60. So I'm going to be totally cheating here and use my calc feature. Calculate the value of my function if X is 60. And the Y value is 82.35. Good luck.